final round. Let's fight it out, people. Welcome to Hexbots Hunters 2, the final part. 5 episodes. Let us with 5 robots. 2 bounties and 3 hunters go through to face each other and the 3 champions. First, Kingslayer, the Series 1 champion, goes in a head-to-head rematch with his old rival, Quarter Pounder, who is the Hexbots Hunters champion of last year. Second, Hypershock versus... Give me this. Versus Komodo Dragon in a brawl to the death. The next, Spinner on Spinner with the latest champion, Gorilla, against the New Blood Tournament champion, Aquatic Disaster. Then finally, a rumble between 2 underdogs of this series, or this little mini-series, Rusty and Scorcher. Without further ado, let's begin with the Series 1 rematch, Kingslayer versus Quarter Pounder. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the Hexbots Hunters 2 final begin. The final 4 somewhat of Series 3. Kingslayer versus Quarter Pounder. The rematch of the championship in Series 1. Kingslayer lifts over Quarter Pounder onto his side. Can Quarter Pounder get back Kingslayer trying to lift him out of the arena? Can they? No, they can't. Quarter Pounder gets back up. What a chat he is. Kingslayer trying to get out of the corner. Quarter Pounder hitting the wall for some reason. Quarter Pounder's best advantage, stay away from the walls as possible. And make it to a judge's decision if they can win with damage. And possibly aggression, because there's no way they can win with control, because that's Kingslayer's specialty. So, there they go, Kingslayer lining up, and Quarter Pounder on the wedge on the wall! He's stuck in both areas! Kingslayer trying to do something, but gets away. Can he get Quarter Pounder out? I don't think so. The countdown is on. Quarter Pounder being counted down for a second time in this here rematch. And Kingslayer is moving on to the semifinals. What a redemption for the King. The rematch at the Century has finally ended. Quarter Pounder defeated once again by the same mistake that led to him in Series 1's championship. Kingslayer moves on to the second round. Finally some improvement after their disappointing last season. Now we go on to Komodo Dragon, one of the more latest champions, the winner of the YouTuber Robot Clash, against the Series 2 champion, Hypershock. 3, 2, 1, activate. Let the battle begin. 2 very aggressive robots out in the start. The Series 2 champion, Hypershock, and the newest champion, the YouTuber Robot Clash champion, Komodo Dragon of Random Robotics. Komodo getting into the sidewall, trying to lift over Hypershock. Hypershock needs to get out of that corner, and they kind of do. Komodo Dragon trying to get to the back and maybe flip it over. It does! Hypershock on the verge of getting out, but they just escape with their life. But can they get out of that little area? Yes, they can. Hypershock flirting with danger right now as Komodo Dragon looks punch-drunk almost. And yeah, you can see that wheel looks a bit off-sided. Maybe they need to fix that, maybe? I don't know. Nonetheless, Komodo Dragon and Hypershock are still going. Hypershock can't really be effective if it's flipped over. And Komodo Dragon trying to return the favor and flip him out of the arena, but they just keep missing Hypershock. It was another decent flip, but didn't capitalize against Hypershock. As I think it's malfunctioning-ish with their flipper. Somewhat, as Hypershock were almost stuck for a moment, but they get free. Komodo almost stuck as well, but they get free also. Nice recovery there by each individual champion. For the surprise guest, I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Komodo Dragon trying to do honors. It flips Hypershock back up. Now it's going to be a major disadvantage for him, because now Hypershock, he's faster, and someone has a more effective weapon. Another nice flip by Komodo Dragon. And again, And again, there are 2 rookies-ish who have won a championship this year. Gorilla, Series 3, and Komodo Dragon, the previous one. Being the YouTuber Robot Clash, they go around with donuts for some reason. Hypershock rams into the wall. And again, can Hypershock do any damage to Komodo Dragon? Can Komodo Dragon flip him over again, I wonder? Or at least take an advantage and use it as an opportunity to get a knockout win. But Hypershock are invertible, keep that in mind, as they ram right into the side of Komodo Dragon. They flip Hypershock, but he gets back up on his wheels. And Hypershock, we're getting inches closer to a judge's decision. Hypershock inching Komodo Dragon into the wall. We're slowly going into a judge's decision, and it will be so as Komodo Dragon stuck near the side of the wall, and Hypershock trying to get free. Can Komodo get free? I don't know. The clock's ticking down for both robots as we go to a judge's decision, and Hypershock with one last ram to end things off. Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered a judge's decision. We have a split decision. Judge 3 scored the battle for Komodo Dragon. Judge 1 scored the battle for Hypershock. And Judge 2 scored the battle for the winner, Hypershock. Would we want to redo that fight if Komodo Dragon at least had a better chassis? Yes, most definitely. I don't know what happened with Komodo Dragon. They were pretty dominant in like all the things, and now they kind of just flopped at the end. Probably because their driving was terrible and they were facing a more faster, more experienced robot. I can get that. The next, the latest champion versus an older champion. Gorilla versus Aquatic Disaster. 3, 2, 1, activate. The box is lit up. Let the battle begin. Aquatic Disaster versus Gorilla. Classic horizontal versus vertical spinner. Who will it be? The New Blood Tournament champions of 2024 or the most recent 3rd Series champion in Gorilla? Gorilla was then voted the most destructive weapon of any rookie, next to like Pushover and Icebreaker. Well, in terms of spinner probability. Anyways, Gorilla trying to escape away with their spinner, Aquatic Disaster, staying nice in control. However, they just went into the wall as soon as I said that. Gorilla trying to eject the weapon on him. Aquatic Disaster going around. Gorilla on the wedge, but they get free and land a nice little back, like a nice little hit to the back of Aquatic Disaster. Aquatic Disaster, one of the few bounties to move on to their top 8. The other being Quarter Pounder, but he lost rather indescribably against Kingslayer. And then the other one, well, was a hunter and one that was Komodo Dragon, but he lost, unfortunately. So here we are, just 2 spinners, 1 box. Who will take it? Gorilla trying to aim for the sides and maybe the tracks of Aquatic Disaster, but Aquatic Disaster is still staying nice and controlled. You know, just so the robots can glide around the arena and potentially destroy each other. Gorilla landing some nice hits. However, I don't think it might work for them, because it's not always about damage. I always keep saying it's mainly about how you stay aggressive and in control you are. And so far, it looks like Aquatic Disaster is winning those factors right now, as Gorilla just keeps ramming into the wall like an idiot. I mean, makes sense. They're still at least new to the arena. Well, not anymore. It's been like a few months and he's a champion, so why would he learn now? Gorilla trying to ease off with their weapon. Maybe they cause a big hit, and that kind of was something. They're on the wedge. Can they make a big impact here? Not really. I mean, they kind of did there. Gorilla stuck on the wedge. Can they get free? Aquatic Disaster pinning him there. Can Gorilla get free? Aquatic Disaster looks like he's going to win the fight. But Gorilla scathing away out of the wedge. Brilliant driving by Gorilla
and they get out of the wedge completely. Great driving there from Gorilla. And I'm charging in on the back of Aquatic Disaster, and another nice hit by them. And this is a great back and forth fight. Aquatic Disaster winning, Gorilla winning, but it's all going to boil down to the judges' scorecard on who might win this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have entered another judge's decision. It is another split decision. Judge 1 scored the battle for Aquatic Disaster. Judge 2 scored the battle for Gorilla. And Judge 3 scored the battle for the winner, Aquatic Disaster. Well, one of the main series champions is already out of here. If Gorilla with this type of attitude, if it's going to not do well like it did before, could this maybe be foreshadowing for Series 4 as him defending a title? We might see. I mean, obviously, we still got like less than a year ahead of us, so what do you think? Anyways, we have the two underdogs today with the God Rusty and the Burning Blazer of Scorcher. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the bot battle begin. Rusty hammering the top and just immediately loses its face. Both underdogs in this, Rusty and Scorcher. Scorcher just moving away as he was just shunted earlier. And now pushed back and almost lifted up by Rusty. Rusty staying nice in control and doing the damage onto the top of Scorcher. But Scorcher, they kind of have the more effective weapon, if you can at least say that. Scorcher pins Rusty into the side corner. Can they move out of the way? They're trying to back up, but Scorcher is just staying right back at him. And there goes a side panel off of Rusty, so there you go. And Rusty pinned up and flipped over by Scorcher. Wow, how about that? Rusty looks like they're trying to escape the arena, and they push back Scorcher, so they're at least earning some control points. And now they're doing the aggressive right now, as Scorcher trying to bail out right now. Rusty gets pinned into the back corner by Scorcher, as Scorcher advances through. Another side panel has come off of Rusty, and Scorcher pushing back Rusty back into that corner once again. He's saying, this is the kill corner, and you're going with it. As Rusty tries to get free, Scorcher straight up burning Rusty into the corner. Can Scorcher do anything? Can they maybe knock out Rusty? I think this might be their opportunity. A track seems to have dislodged on Rusty because that one side is moving and the other isn't. So I think Scorcher might have a chance on winning this fight. I mean, if it ever goes to a judge's decision, Scorcher is going to win no matter what. Knockout or judge's decision, Rusty is probably not winning this fight. Unless some miracle happens as the top panel comes off. As Rusty, my goodness, we were expecting a lot from them when the start of Hexbots Hunters began, and they delivered. And here they're just being treated like a sore kid being beaten up by a bully who's like 3 times the size of them. Rusty trying to escape the corner, but he's stuck on his dome and can't seem to get out. A Scorcher there to capitalize and tries to aim for the other track. If they do, Scorcher advances and burns his way to the semifinals. As they're trying to move back, the track has been dislodged. Rusty has no answer of getting out, and Scorcher burns his way to the semifinals.
Wow, this is a lineup I didn't entirely expect. The first series champion Kingslayer faces the second series champion Hypershock. Then the New Blood Tournament champion Aquatic Disaster will face the underdog in Scorcher. This is about to be chaotic, and I know it. But first, let's start with Kingslayer versus Hypershock. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the bot battle begin. 2 main series champions. Series 1 versus Series 2. Hypershock immediately takes off the wedgelets of Kingslayer as the fight begins. Hypershock. Oh, they pulverized Kingslayer into the corner and they're almost out of the arena. Can Kingslayer get free? Yes, they can. Wow. Kingslayer almost ejected out of the arena. And Hypershock almost there to capitalize. My goodness. And here comes Kingslayer trying to lift the back wheel of Hypershock and take off the back piece. Well, it's at least better than nothing from the Series 1 champions who barely did anything. A big uppercut there by Hypershock. Trying to capitalize on it. Kingslayer gets back up. Kingslayer trying to advance through. And Hypershock trying to not end up with another bruised weapon, as they didn't really do that impressive in the previous Hexbots Hunters. But yet again, neither was Kingslayer. They were both knocked out pretty early. As Kingslayer gliding around the arena, Hypershock pushing back the King into that back corner. Can Kingslayer get free? They're trying. And they're almost out. Hypershock almost has an opening right now. But here, Kingslayer fires back and Hypershock is out of the arena. Wow. Hypershock out of the arena and Kingslayer goes to the final. Wow.
2 words. Peak fight. Kingslayer was already doomed to fail at the start of the fight. Hypershock kept being aggressive. However, it was all she wrote after Hypershock was backed into the corner and then sent out to the deepest pits of hell. Kingslayer goes to the Hexbots Hunters 2 final. If this is also foreshadowing, because last time Quarter Pounder sent out for vengeance and he returned to his villain arc, I wouldn't be surprised if Kingslayer will do the same thing as well. But now, the fight to decide who faces the Series 1 champion. Will it be Aquatic Disaster or Scorcher? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Let the bot battle begin. Classic water versus fire. Aquatic Disaster versus Scorcher. The New Blood Tournament champions versus one of the underdogs, as he took out the other one just because of spite. Anyway, Scorcher using the hammer saw to their advantage. Aquatic Disaster moving around. I think they took off one of the forks on Scorcher. Yeah, one of the left fork is gone. So that's just great. Scorcher moving around. Aquatic Disaster nearly close to losing. However, they came back with the judge's decision win against Gorilla. First time he's somewhat been knocked out. Well, I guess the other one was Komodo Dragon, but Scorcher using the hammer saw to the top of Aquatic Disaster, and Aquatic Disaster moves out. Scorcher trying to fire the hammer saw, almost did for a moment. Could Scorcher get back in? They're trying, and they do so. Aquatic Disaster is able to capitalize, and another nice attack by Scorcher. Scorcher trying to move around. They're being backed into the corner. Are they? I think Scorcher have stopped. Ladies and gentlemen, Scorcher has stopped. Scorcher is done, ladies and gentlemen. The other underdog is out of here. Aquatic Disaster goes to the final once again.
Cease. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. The Hexbots Hunters 2 Championship between the Series 1 champion Kingslayer and the runner-up of Hexbots Hunters and the New Blood Tournament Championship, winner of Series 2, or I guess 2024, Aquatic Disaster. Both of these robots have fought twice. In Series 2 in the tournament, Kingslayer lifted Aquatic Disaster rather humiliatingly onto the back wall and took home the win to go to the round of 16. And then in Series 3 in Heat L, it was Kingslayer who lost. Apparently his lifter didn't work and then fell into the wedge, giving Aquatic Disaster the win. But now it's up to this. A true grudge match. Whoever wins this wins it all and takes home the Hexbots Hunters 2 trophy. Both of these robots have a championship, so this will be extra special. Now they'll be a 2-time champion, or I guess a robot with 2 championship awards. Kingslayer from the United Kingdom versus Aquatic Disaster from the United States of America. Let's begin. 3, 2, 1.
Let the Hexbots Hunters 2 championship begin. A wedgelet has already broken off of Kingslayer, the grand rematch. Kingslayer won 1, Aquatic Disaster the second. Here will be the deciding factor. Kingslayer with a missed lift on Aquatic Disaster, as Aquatic Disaster snooping around trying to get the right angle to defeat Kingslayer. They did it with the wedge. Can they do it again, or will Kingslayer get revenge and it finally end this tussle that's been brewing for nearly a year? Another wedgelet has come off of Kingslayer, but Kingslayer lifting himself, trying to lift Aquatic Disaster. They almost did. Can they get him out of the arena? They have him stuck, but they keep the fight going as Aquatic Disaster gets back into the fight. And a track has been dislodged off of Aquatic Disaster, and they're flipped on their side. Could this be it? Could this be the turning point for Kingslayer? Can it? It is! Aquatic Disaster on his back with no way to get up, and Kingslayer comes back and becomes the Hexbots Hunters 2 champion. And Kingslayer comes back and becomes the Hexbots Hunters 2 champion.
Congratulations to Kingslayer for being the first Hexbug Roboteer to ever receive 2 awards. And it's been, what, 2 years? 2 years since Kingslayer won the Series 1 championship. And here they are, the big year 2025, hosting the Hexbots Hunters 2 Little Nut, we like to call. Congratulations to all robots, especially Quarter Pounder, Komodo Dragon, Gorilla, Rusty, Hypershock, Scorcher, and the runner-up, again, Aquatic Disaster. This has been a long season, and I most definitely enjoyed it alright. Oh yeah, you know that one fight, Dudley vs. Blacksmith? I'm uploading that soon. So yeah. Hopefully, we'll have everything assembled, hopefully for the next season, because Series 4 is going to be a big one. And we know it. This will hopefully be the season, or series, I like to say, to, I don't know, let's be more chaotic, more robots, an expanded arena, and hopefully newly added screws. So hopefully that'll be something. Congratulations to Kingslayer for winning the Little Nut. And this is Bonzel28 signing out as a farewell to Hexbots Hexbug BattleBots Series 3 as a whole. So we'll see you whenever that'll be.